Welcome back. The Federal Reserve has 28 minutes to decide whether or not to lower the interest rates. We're going to talk about that. Will this pump our crypto bags? I hope so. Sincerely praying for no black swan. Sincerely. Let me share my screen and tell you what I'm seeing. By the way, we're live on YouTube and X. So if you got comments, comment on YouTube or X. I'll try to read them. I'll answer any questions. Share the screen, shall we? 27 minutes to the FOMC meeting. This is where the Fed decides whether or not they're going to lower our interest rates and pump the bags. Typically, lower interest rates means less quantitative tightening and credit's easier to get. Money is cheaper. They devalue the dollar. They make assets more expensive. So if you don't own capital, if you're not part of the capital class, you're just going to get more and more poor. You're getting extracted from with inflation. It's a hidden tax. So inflation, money printing, whatever you want to call it, the devaluing of the dollar is not going anywhere. That's why we need crypto. That's why we're all here. We're in something that we hope can outpace inflation. We've already got people in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Freddie Quotes is in the chat. 99% sure a quarter point is already priced in. That's a good point. It might already be priced in. To be honest, guys, I'm just praying for no black swan. I mean, it's been gut punch after gut punch in this market. So yes, we're currently looking at a 97% chance, 98% chance of one rate cut. What we're looking at. Let's just hope things go as planned, because all I'm really hoping for at this point is that there's no surprises. Please don't let this government shutdown or some random black swan metric come out of nowhere and spook the whole market. But yes, it probably is priced in. Either way, what we just want to see here is everything goes as expected. So let me go ahead and read the chat, because we've got people here already. What's up? Cut or no cut, crime until December. More crime, more crime. Crime season, don't you know? Crypto Mike, good afternoon. UFO to go says the UFO has landed. 7th worst here. What's up, everybody? Quarter point. Yeah, that's right. You're looking at a 97% chance. Again, let's just pray to the crypto gods and Uncle Jerome Powell to please pump our bags. And just please don't give us any surprises here. All the market wants is certainty. Ironically, because the only thing you can be sure of is the only constant is change. Pump bag, let's go. What's up, SMO Spider? Smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. You can also subscribe to me over on Twitter. If you want to join my group, I answer questions over there. We talk strategy, whatever you want to talk about. One-on-one time. What's going on? We need QT over. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But we're all waiting for it. So some people feel like, has the cycle really actually started? When you look at it in the sense of Bitcoin's the only, I guess, coin with a real conviction community that's really pumped. I mean, you could always pick the one-offs. You can always have survivorship bias. But to be completely honest, the winners of this cycle have been the ones that are able to capture the most attention, and they don't last long. We had a meme coin season back in 2024. Even the best meme coins are still down 80% from last year. 90%. So everybody was pumping their meme coins with little cabals over on pump.fun. And they said, oh, this must be the way things are now. Yeah, but meme coins always have a finite and short attention span. So all the long-term holds, people like we're holding Ethereum, PulseChain, HEX for the long term, have not experienced new all-time highs yet. Even ETH, now the number 2, the one that kicks off the alt season, 4 years later, no all-time high. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. I demand Ethereum go up. It's been hitting that resistance. So let's check out the news. Anything good on the news here while we wait for the Federal Reserve, the news around the Federal Reserve. Ethereum Foundation launches institutional portal to boost enterprise adoption. Everywhere you look, guys, it's pretty obvious. The powers that be have chosen ETH as the global settlement layer. They're launching billions of dollars of stablecoins. Last I checked, it was what, 300 billion? Here, check this out. DeFi, Llama, stablecoins, market cap. Okay. The total circulating stablecoins of all of crypto, 308 billion. And guess what? Half of these are on ETH. So there's this huge disconnect between retail and ETH, where there's no new retail coming in. It's the ones that are here. We're still PvP poker table with each other, the same cohort, since 2023, 2022. Back when the FTX crash happened, a lot of people still haven't come back to crypto in a meaningful way, meaning normies. But institutionally is a completely different story. So they're moving slow like they do. They're causing Ethereum and Bitcoin to become a macro asset more aligned with whatever they decide to pump. And it looks like Ethereum is what they're aping into slowly. They have to do it carefully because it's not liquid enough for them to just rotate trillions into. But it's happening, and they're telling you about it. You can read all the ETF inflows are public. So it's not really a surprise. All the stablecoins are being minted. Deals are being made between like World Liberty Finance. The president of the United States made a DeFi protocol. I don't know how much more confirmation we need. And I feel bad for all the 4-year cycle guys giving up on it now, walking away just because you were told that there was a 4-year cycle. And you believed that if that perfect plan didn't play out exactly the way you thought, that what? Crypto's over? Crypto's not going anywhere. So the fact that the elites are catching on means that 401ks, real world assets, real estate, multiple trillions of dollars of asset classes are going to flow into on-chain representations of those asset classes. And for the most part, they're going to launch on ETH and EVM compatible networks. Guess what? PulseChain is a brand new 2-year-old as opposed to ETH's 10-year-old Ethereum virtual machine compatible clone of ETH 2.0. Cheaper and faster with a better community and of course less liquidity and more potential to pump the price, which is what everyone cares about. Win Headbang Crypto Coffee, aka Bull Run Signal. Hey, and you know what? Maybe I'll have to go full Rambo when the prices start pumping. But look, position yourself accordingly, because if you just miss a couple of the biggest days of gains, this is proven with the stock market, but it's even truer in crypto, because if you even are not allocated, if you're trading around, you're going in and out of positions all the time, and if you just miss like 10 days of crypto's best performing days, you miss out on like 80% of the gains. 80% of the gains are made on very particular days, and then it's a lot of hurry up and wait around for nothing. Speaking of my future self, you're welcome. That's right. We're all talking to our future selves here. When's our season? So Richard Hart, the founder of PulseChain, tweeted in his AMA on Twitter that he doesn't so much care about alt season at all, really. He cares about our season, and why should we have to be correlated to an alt season? He's dropping hints like crazy. God candle at any moment. Our season versus alt season. I mean, look, the Sacrifice wallet, it's moving 100 million through Tornado Cash, still has about 500 million publicly visible. Pretty sure the holder of the Sacrifice Ethereum wants to see ETH past 5K. And we've got analysts saying past 5K is very likely before the end of the year. November, December are typically bullish months. So, yeah, I'm a hopium dealer. I'm just dealing you what you want to hear, hopium. But isn't that better than listening to the guy that says sell everything? Because eventually, long will always beat short. Or optimism will always beat pessimism over a long time frame with people that are persistent, people that stick around. So you could listen to those traders that are always telling you the doom and gloom headlines. Oh, sell everything. A lot of it is clickbait. A lot of these guys, if the more you touch your bags, the more you can potentially nuke them. So not recommended to do a whole lot. The best advice, non-financially, of course, is to hold for the long term, just to do what everyone doesn't want to do. In the meantime, we've got a lot of PulseChain coins pumping, don't we? Let's see. DexScreener.com. I know it's a red day, so it's not going to be that cool to look at. Let's take a look. PulseChain. X game. Real buy the rumor, sell the news, huh? But they do have an actual product that launched, so good for them. Maybe the gambling addicts from Binance Smart Chain or the gambling addicts from Base can come over to PulseChain. What else is up today? Not a whole lot really up. Not a whole lot really up. Vouch token, time token. Some tokens doing all right. Unity, BTGC still up there. But not very great to brag about prices on a red day. This Vault token just launched. Apparently this Vault token is going to have some utility. Fast Abdul been talking about Vault 369. It's kind of got a Pip-Boy theme. So a meme coin, one of the common things, not a terrible looking chart. One of the common ways to launch a coin is just to automatically pre-bond it on pump.tires, just so that people know, okay, this is a basic token, no taxes, no backdoors, no admin keys, and it's got an initial burn liquidity pool. So when you're thinking about launching a coin, launching one on pump.tires, even if not as a meme coin, still a pretty decent idea. Like Top Hat, for example, because you know that that initial LP is burned with 200 million pulse, and you know it's got basically no issues in terms of the contract, because it's a boilerplate meme coin contract. Miss Sephian, MF Sephian says, I've never seen the headband thing. Oh, you got here after the party. Every rotation costs you 30% slippage. It could, if you don't make the right rotation, you could. And here's the worst thing that happens to people. They make one good rotation. They make another good rotation. And then they get super cocky on the third one and they lose double everything they made. And then it's like all that time, all that energy for what? You just consumed your life with watching the charts and trying to predict. Now, I do occasionally buy some meme coins when I think I'm early. I think they're going to pump. For example, I bought Peacock because I'm pretty sure that this is a meme with utility. And with the Peacock token, you understand that all the fees that are generated by Liberty Swap are more than enough to send that coin up at least another 10x, maybe 100. It's so low liquidity, bonded to things like Top Hat. So I love seeing meme coins with actual utility as well. You have that on PulseChain, and that causes the community to stick around and rally behind something. So Liberty Swap, it's almost like an unofficial referral program for Peacock token. The more people that you get trading and swapping from Base to Solana and bridging into PulseChain, but you're also capturing their fees and tokenizing it with buy and burn pressure automated from Liberty Swap's exchange. Or bridge, I should say. Not an exchange exactly, but Pump versus Most token, they're kind of the same. If I had to pick one, I would pick Most because it's got the most mind share. Pump is weird because it's kind of been dominated by the pump.tires. See? Or the pump.fun ticker symbol. I'm pretty sure the pump fun coin has more mind share than the pump tires pump coin. But you do have lower liquidity. It can pump harder, I suppose, on that. I'm generally a fan of coins that aren't a copy of other tickers. But then again, you've got Pepe here dominating the #1 spot. There's an argument to be made for SEO and saying, okay, well, if people are searching for Pepe, let's put the PulseChain Pepe in front of them. The Richard Hart Pepe is honestly, it's got more activity, it looks like. Let's see. Not really, but it's got a lot of activity. It's got 11K of volume, whereas Pepe on Base only has 21K, so it's really up there. The Pepe on Solana only has 24K. Pepe on Ethereum, though, is obviously the OG. Kind of hard to convince the Pepe on Ethereum guys that PulseChain is the real Pepe, but it does trigger them. And who knows? When people are searching for the Pepe, it's like, which one? Maybe why not try the PulseChain one? More pumpable. Mark Guiana says, I'm looking at buying pump soon. Like, which one, though? The pump.fun pump token or the Richard Hart pump tires pump token? Hex Wizard says, what's up, coffee? Hello, Hex Wizard. DJ Dougie says, I don't even know how to sell crypto. I'm sensing some sarcasm there. But yeah, I've got this mental disability that prevents me from dumping my coins, especially at the lows. And it just doesn't make sense. I've got my long-term bags, got my short-term bags, but my long-term bags are like 90%. My holdings. Well, mostly I just don't touch them. I really just, it's not an option for me. I'll do whatever it takes to not sell those coins until they pump. DJ Dougie, if you did want to sell, theoretically though, for people that don't know, you just go out the way you came in, right? So you buy some USDC in your wallet, you bridge it over, you buy some HEX or whatever on libertyswap.finance, and if you want to go out, then you sell that HEX back for, let's say, PLS. Let's go to Liberty Swap and just show you guys. So you would sell whatever coin you want to dump on PulseChain one day. You'd sell it for USDC on PulseChain. And then you'd bridge that USDC back to base. And right in your wallet, you just take it right to your bank account. Or your Coinbase account, your Binance, whatever exchange account that you use to get your bank money into crypto money. Whatever point that is for you. Some people have Kraken, some people have Coinbase. I like both. I've got both. I've got a lot of different exchange accounts just in case, because you never know if one's going to get shut off. But I do not keep coins on exchanges. So for newbies coming out, really do not keep coins on exchanges, especially in the bull market when things heat up. How quickly people forget that when volumes and activity picks up, they freeze people because they can't handle the volumes somehow. There's probably scammy stuff going on. A lot of exchanges have real liquidity issues. So they don't actually hold a lot of coins, especially not in hot wallets, but oftentimes just in general. I suspect that a lot of exchanges do some kind of a fractional reserve thing without telling the users, but even so, if a lot of people try to withdraw at the same time, they have been known to throttle users and to block their withdrawals. So, you know, when it's all calm before the storm, get your money, get your coins out of exchanges so that you're not stuck there when stuff starts pumping and you want to make some moves. On-chain is the way. The worst that could happen on-chain is, okay, your transaction fails because you didn't pay enough gas. Like, it's not like your money is like actually frozen. Dumping my ink for Peacock. Uh-oh, this could be an ink bottom signal there. Heads up, fish cracker. You're dumping your ink for Peacock. watch ink just skyrocket right after you sell it. But we still don't know about ink. There was a lot of lore that Richard Hart or the PulseChain developers might one day do something here and add a utility to this incentive token. This is the yield farm incentive coin. Very, very sideways. For the last, I don't know, 5 months. Look at how sideways that is. Very boring chart. But what if one day ink becomes the voting token? Or what if there's another sacrifice for some kind of a wallet and maybe ink is the main sacrifice coin? Who knows? Ink could surprise people. I've got a small bag in relation to my HEX Pulse and PulseX. I still consider it one of my untouchable bags, personally, because I'm here for the surprise if it happens. Now, there is something in the code that was commented out. This is a fact. The potential utility for ink could be a DAO voting token once the coins are sufficiently distributed. That's what the comment said. It commented out a block of code saying, if the token does get sufficiently distributed, you turn this piece of code back on, just like the MasterChef contract for other dexes like Cake, Pancake Swap. And you could potentially use the ink token to vote on protocol updates, new coins. We'll see if that actually ever happens. Because what is sufficient distribution? That's probably going to take a long time to get to a distribution place like that. Would today be a good day to make my last DCA before Fed rate cuts? Well, like people were saying earlier in the chat, Fed rate cuts are often priced in, but they lay the groundwork. They set the stage, you see. So it's not like, oh, we're going to have this big old giant event in 10 minutes and everything's going to blow up. Not really. It just creates a more pumpable environment for assets to go up because they're making money easier to get. So banks take out loans against the Fed. They pay the federal funds rate. Then they lend out to other people at a slightly higher rate, pocket the difference. And that's what a lot of economies are built on is leverage and debt. Credit. Lines of credit. There's a 0% chance as of right now for a 2% for a 2 basis points cut. Or 50 basis points, I should say. This weekend I'm going crypto shopping. I will shop a lot for PulseChain and PulseX. PulseChain and PulseX are great. They both have scarcity built in. When more activity goes on the PulseChain network, you're burning more fees, and that eventually overtakes the fees the PLS minted from validators. So we've seen this in the past. In 2024, When activity was really heating up on PulseChain, PLS became deflationary. I'm going to show you the stats to prove it. PulseChainStats.com is a great website. So check this out. Where is it? Gas stats. Here it is. This is the inflation rate of PulseChain. Now, this looks like a vertical line up. It's a very short slope. Okay, so the real effective inflation rate of Pulse is 0.132%. Very small, right? But, as you can see over here, a couple of months ago, almost 1 year ago, the network got really busy. And because there were so many transactions, and because a quarter of all the transaction fees get burned, that burn pressure was greater than the mint pressure from validators, and it started going down. The supply started becoming deflationary. So PulseX is deflationary. PLS is sometimes deflationary. And there's other cool mechanisms like all the pump tires coins. They burn 1% of all the trading fees going through pump tires, and they also lock in 200 million Pulse every time a meme coin graduates from pump tires to PulseX. And PulseX is the decentralized exchange. PLSX token also benefits by one, being deflationary, and two, all the automated buy and burn pressure from all the trading fees. Doesn't matter what people are trading. 0.22% of trading fees goes to users. 0.07% of the trading fee goes to buying and burning the PLSX token itself. That's why they're called virtual shares of the DEX. It's like, imagine if owning the Uni token, you were able to buy into the success of all of the volume being done by Uniswap. The Uni token doesn't do anything. It's just a piece of trash. It's like fake governance token. It hasn't done very well. It's probably not going to do very well. Uniswap Labs owns 90% of it anyway, so it's like, what's the point? It's not like you actually have a vote. So it's fake governance. They could have done so much more with it. And that's what PulseX is. PulseX is what Uni token should have been. Vampire says, I will put $1,500 for each for Pulse and PulseX this weekend. Cool, man. Yeah, it's payday. Kenny Bush says, don't gamble at such sites. Buy PulseChain. Yeah, I don't spend my time gambling, but you know, you got to realize a lot of people do. Like, will a liquor store be profitable? Yeah, probably. But are you doing, you know, you can do it responsibly. Some people don't. Either way, it's very profitable. And either way, it gets people exposure to PulseChain from the base network, from the Binance Smart Chain network. I'm talking about X Game. That's why it's good. It's also run by an industry professional. It's got certified licenses. It's a real product that exists. So excited to see that that one actually has onboarding potential. Real newbies. Crypto JK says, round tripping my way to financial freedom. A lot of people round trip their first cycle. I round tripped it entirely. My first cycle. It's okay. First one's to learn. Second one's to make money. Third one, question mark. SMO Spider says heart emoji. Thank you. My friend is currently placing bets in gambling sites. I'm trying to tell her to buy more PulseChain. Please help me shout out to her. Hey, Kenny Bush. Kenny Bush's friend. You're going to waste all your money gambling. Just to, I guess Kenny wants me to shout out to you. There's a difference between trading and gambling. Or there's a difference between investing and gambling, rather. Investing, when you look at things on a long-term timescale, is a positive sum game. You're playing this wealth generation game. The pie is getting bigger. But the reason most people don't do it is because most people can't hold a coin longer than 2 weeks. The average hold time for a coin on Coinbase is 28 days. These people couldn't hold a paperweight. And that's most people because they get bored. They get antsy. Oh, I didn't get rich overnight. What else should I stick my money into? I got a lot of friends that do sports gambling. A lot of them just kind of do nothing. Sure, it's fun. I guess it's fun. But you know, it's more fun is making a 10, 100x and actually building wealth. Or you could just gamble it all away every time you get a paycheck. But investing is different. Investing is when you buy something and you say, I'm not going to touch this for a year, 2 years. I mean, 1 year at least. 1 year is not that hard to hold something for. And then at least you get to open yourself up to the concept of long-term capital gains tax. You should be saving to even experience benefiting of the knowledge of what capital gains tax is. Like, but people that gamble, they don't pay capital gains tax because they lose. Over the long term, they just lose. They keep just funneling their money in. They win a little, they lose a little. But think about your lifetime stats over sports betting or anything. Your lifetime stats and how much money you've probably sunk versus how much enjoyment did you really get out of that? Did you build anything? Did you create something cool? Probably not. But there's a lot of influencers out there that do try to get you into it because it's profitable for them to refer you as well. It's very profitable to refer people to leverage trading, which I define as just gambling with like a different skin. Polymarket, a lot of these places, they have referral programs. And prediction markets are a little different. They're not always so bad. They can be used as marketing. So I do know a guy working on a prediction market that has a lot of potential for PulseChain. We'll see. See how it goes. But the real gambling, like the virtual, I don't know, roulette or whatever, okay, it's fun for a little bit. But at some point, you got to ask yourself, what do I really want to, how do I want to spend my time? And hey, maybe you just love gambling. That's okay. Not trying to rain on your parade. Have fun gambling. That's just not what I do. Different strokes for different folks. To me, it's like video games. Like, I don't play video games either. I think people interpret that like you're trying to take away their fun. But it's just different end goals. You know, on your deathbed, are you going to wish you played more video games or watched more TV or gambled more? That's what I think about. HEX to the moon. Like Aster, for example, any comment about it? Aster is just another leverage trading platform. Crypto glorifies this hyper degenerate leverage trading casino where you could take 100x leverage, which is just trading with money that's not yours. You could take $1,000 and all of a sudden you can make a bet where the effective size is $100,000. So if the price goes 1% in the right direction, you actually make 100% gains. You make like double your money every time the price moves 1%. But people get wrecked every single time. They even show you their statistics on it. You look up studies about winners and losers. Not to mention you're going up against people that have way more resources, way more experience than you. So if you're not going to be a professional trader, you probably shouldn't be touching leverage. Now, I know a lot of people need to learn, like myself. I occasionally need to wreck myself. To bitch slap myself in the face and remember, wow, that's really stupid. So every now and then, yeah, have fun losing money. I'm speaking out of experience too. I'm not lecturing on like something I've never done before. I lost money on a 3x leverage long on ETH in this cycle. It's only a small bit of money, but I still have to remember the lessons I learned. So dumb. I thought it was going to be a safe. Anyway, so they give you enough rope to hang yourself with, and then they let you profit from referring other people to feeding them to the meat grinder too. And everyone thinks this is the point of crypto. Crypto's not really meant to be traded very often. You could flip meme coins, okay. You could do some swing trades, but the majority of your bag, hopefully, is a long-term bag that was going to benefit massively from a long-term mindset. Like all the winners in crypto, they either made exchanges, they founded coins, or they were long-term holders in the right stuff. And to me, the right things are newer, more potential, good communities, good networks with solid tech and low liquidity. Low liquidity means it's mathematically more pumpable. Like PulseChain, for example, has got $8-9 million of liquidity backing everything. So 100 million coming in does a 100x in the price. And I like, decentralized exchanges because you can calculate this. You can go to a place like Pampy.app and see, okay, net buy pressure, 100 million. What does that do to the price? It sends everything absolutely parabolic. It's great. Bridge stats. We've got 90 million TVL on the bridge. Daily inflows, a net daily inflow of plus 233K. Not terrible. Most of the tokens bridged in. DAI stablecoin, Ether, and of course HEX is number 3, USD coin. Coast stablecoin. Shout out to Coast for minting $11 million on chain. Tether. So the majority of this $90 million is in the form of Ether, stablecoins, and HEX. 10 billion HEX. That's interesting. 10 billion HEX has been bridged from the Ethereum network into the PulseChain network, or it's referred to as HEX. HEX on PulseChain is just called HEX. But HEX that's been bridged into PulseChain from Ethereum is called HEX. For new people coming in, I know that's confusing, but the thing is when PulseChain launched, it forked and split Ethereum off into two segments, and every single coin on the Ethereum network on May 13th, 2023 was copied one for one on the PulseChain network. We don't talk about that a lot anymore because, you know, it is complicated for new people to understand. But the cool thing is, if you've been holding crypto for 2.5 years, you might have a couple bucks of free money over on PulseChain. Check it out. News is coming out, dude. 4% as expected. All right. All right. The news is out. Thanks for reminding me. Where is the news? I guess I got to pull up Twitter. Twitter's where all the news actually happens first. All right. HEX manipulation claims. People are dumping on the FOMC. Buy the rumor, sell the news, huh? Oh my God, Bitcoin's dumping so hard. It went down 3 whole percentage. Yeah, I mean, if you're the kind of guy that's getting worried about 3% dump on Bitcoin, crypto's not for you. Daily volatility, pretty expected. Like I mentioned, it's not a big glorious pump moment. It's just everything's going according to plan type of thing. Buy the dip if you can. People started selling off yesterday in anticipation. So look, you shouldn't be trading news events. My whole entire spiel here is you shouldn't be trading, right? But what a lot of people do is they buy the rumor, sell the news. We see it over and over and over again. So when people look at the Fed as like a news event, they started selling off yesterday a little bit. But again, 3-4% drop. It's really not much. We saw on October 10th, we saw like negative 60% in altcoins on one day. One day, due to leverage longs being liquidated. I've used AI to scan the report already. QT ending 31st of December. Thank you, Mr. Crypto J. Crypto J is wasting no time at all. So I guess the Federal Reserve is telling us that they're going to end quantitative tightening by December 31st. The day to look forward to. Maybe we have a good Christmas. Another crypto Christmas. Hey, Chaotic Creations is in the chat. Casinos have better odds. Roulette is 1 in 38 to get a 35x. 35x. Freudian slip. Crypto is 1 in 40 million of choice. You'd never hear about until they already run. Yeah, crypto is 1 in 40 million. It's like there's 10,000 coins going on every single day. Crazy. It's been years since we had 2 consecutive rate cuts. Yes, that's true. The rate cuts 2 in a row has not happened. We only got 1 rate cut within like a whole year's time span. We've really had to repent for all the money printing of COVID. PulseChain's reacting nicely to the news for now. Is it? Let's take a look at the PulseChain prices. Go to the pulsechainstats.com. Yeah, nothing. What I like to see, just not a whole lot. I would love to see a massive pump, but like the fact that we're holding here. In my mind, I'm just like, guys, don't panic. Stop fucking panicking. all the time over every little thing. And so hopefully we've shaken a lot of these guys out. We're on day 900 of PLS. Happy day 900, everybody. Hey, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So hang in there. This is from the all-time low. I wonder if I could see, here we go. 24-hour price, down 3%, 4%. Nothing crazy at all. Be really cool if some people decided not to nuke themselves right now. Be really cool if everyone decided to just chill out and stop dumping. The number of HEX holders is actually going down. I wonder why that is. Well, negative 44 wallets added today. But this is only because these are active HEX wallets. The interesting thing about this chart is you do see this going down because maybe long-term holders in HEX are actually picking up. And they're not being tracked if they're not active. HEX was meant to be held. HEX was meant to be staked long-term. My wallets probably don't show here because I haven't touched them. You know what I mean? So if trader activity is going down, I don't mind that at all. If active wallets are going down, that's good. It means the volatility is being squeezed out. Makes it easier to pump. PulseX, only two additional wallets added today. These are bottom signal type of things. Ink token. Also, the long-term holders are going down. Hey, we just had a guy in chat saying he's going to rotate all his ink into Peacock. See what I mean? People chase. So, these are kind of bottomy vibes, guys. What do you think? Bottom signal vibes? 1,705 PulseChain creators. That's interesting. PulseChain social dominance, not even 1%. 0.8%, I guess, of crypto Twitter. HEX social dominance, 0.001. Hey, could it be that a lot of people have forgotten about HEX? Maybe it's ready. Maybe it's finally ready. 5,000 social posts today. 600,000 social media interactions. I love PulseChainStats.com, dude. It's a great website. Shout out to you guys who built this website. Really nice graphs, really colorful. And you could always click this little button here and share a screenshot on social media. Very marketable screenshots. Let's see how gold does. Yeah, gold had a big correction too. Obviously, we had a kind of a blow off top situation. HEX holders are down. Meanwhile, I've quietly accumulated 1 million PHEX over the past year. Hell yeah, Reef Juicy. I definitely have more than when I started. A little more than that, but hey. More over the past 2 years than less of HEX. That's good. I mean, you could have had 1 million for $3,000. Now 1 million PHEX is $8,000, $7,000. A solid bag. PLS is reacting. Acid Thunder says, good evening. Have I heard you on the spaces with Hexo? It was a good one. Yeah, we did a Twitter spaces with this big influencer from Caspa. He has about 500,000 followers. Shout out to, man, I forgot his handle on Twitter. It's like hard to say. But he was very open-minded, very respectful. We're going to be doing it again, me and Hexologist, and of course all the community comes out. What I love about PulseChain, the community comes out to back me up, to back everybody up, and spread the good word. And it really, when I was looking through that list of people on the spaces, I'm like, these are really the warriors, the OG survivors, or some new faces as well. But it really did seem like all the weak were shaken out. Isaiah Cash says, I'm here for the 10,000X. You know, Richard Hart did make a tweet saying HEX did a 10,000X one time. I wonder if HEX can do that again. So to do a 10,000X, you basically have to 100X the liquidity pool. So just for fun, what would it take to pump HEX 10,000X again? Just for fun. Well, there is 2.5, 3.54. Let's call it $2 million in buy-side liquidity, right? Because you take 4 million divided by 2, roughly $2 million. If you 100X the buy-side, you would, in theory, 10,000X the price. If $200 million of net buy pressure came into HEX, you could see Over $1 prices. You really could see a 10,000x. Sounds absolutely insane. But if you don't believe that, well, maybe you'll have to be surprised. Maybe you'll like to buy higher. OG Survivor here says optimal timeline. Yeah, we're all OG survivors. SolidX Gigapump waiting room. I'm bag holding a little bit of SolidX. I kind of missed the boat. Just straight up, not gonna lie. I missed the whole X game thing. I kind of was upset that I missed it because it seemed obvious. Obviously in hindsight. But I think hopefully some of the profits from X game will get rolled back into SolidX eventually. So I don't know. Got a small bag of SolidX. We'll see if it comes back. I was there, MFs. LFG MFs. Coffee not factoring in sell pressure. All right, little Debbie Downer. That's why I said net buy pressure, dumbass. Net. Do you understand what net means? It means after sell pressure. Kang is the first person in history, guys, to recognize sell pressure. Bravo. Bravo, genius. Oh, but there's going to be sell pressure too. No shit, Sherlock. Thomas says, I need some mad gains. Chaotic Creation says, you folks did a great job representing, seemed very productive. Yeah, we always do, man. We always do. But what about the sell pressure? All right. TGE of whale token. CG rejects meme tied to golden statue gift. Doesn't take much money to pump, even with a lot of sell pressure. KR in the space has mentioned that. Yes, true. Mr. J says most should follow Hart's Law. Yeah, I mean, everything follows Hart's Law just means when PulseChain pumps, everything tied to Pulse pumps by default, even if there's no buyers or sellers. Reef Juicy said HEX did a 10,000x. Now it's PHEX's turn. Yalla, LFG. That's right, Reef Juicy. They have dropped the interest. Have they dropped the interest rate yet? Yeah, well, yeah, they just did. They just apparently dropped the interest rate. One more day before Peacock Protocol goes live. That's pretty interesting, huh? Peacock Protocol. So check this out in one day. You gotta love the countdown timer. These Liberty Swap folks know how to pump coins. They know how to keep the excitement going. And then right now what they're hyping up is, it's basically a countdown for like a feature release. So Peacock token is going to have a Peacock protocol. Something involving staking. I'm not really sure yet. Something involving tens of thousands of tokens, swapping instantly and gasless. Get ready for the official launch. Your gateway to trade, track, swap Peacock. You know, is it going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news? I'm not going to treat it that way. I bought a bag of Peacock for the long term. I am holding my Peacock tight. My top hat, my Peacock. Hold on to the cock, boys. How are the Jeets going to outpace RH? I don't know, man. We got to shake them out. That's right. David Murphy says, thanks. Dugginator says, ETH is holding well. You could see a 4x in PLS, 8x in HEX, 16x in most exciting times. That's right. That's right, Crypto J. We could see many X's. Exciting times. Market usually dumps right after cuts. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't focus on the daily so much. As long as there's no turbo dump, I'm okay with that. I'm so happy no one can wallet watch RH now. That's right, Murder J Yoga. Murder da Yoga. Murder Yoga. I kept wanting to read murder in your name. Murder Yoga. Maybe that is your name. Here's what happened with the sacrifice wallets. If you haven't been paying attention, the PulseChain sacrifice wallets have been seen mixing about $100 million of Ethereum through Tornado Cash, which means you can't wallet watch, which means you can't front run any potential buybacks or liquidity injections, which is exactly what happened this time last year. We had people front running, buying right before waiting for a pump, buying, selling right after and extracting. The element of surprise, timing is everything. We know this. That's why I'm generally in favor. I mean, just look what happened with the HEX adoption amplifier. Everybody was asking, where did the ETH go? Where did the ETH go? It all went out to Bybit, like $200 million of ETH. And next thing you know, HEX did a 10,000x. Now, people don't realize it doesn't take much to just light a match. Just lighting a proverbial match, igniting a metaphorical spark is not that hard. It doesn't take an actual $500 million to pump the bags because other people like to FOMO buy the tops. It just takes lighting it at the right time, in my opinion. Do I think Richard Hart is staking the ETH and using the interest to buy Pulse cores? I mean, that's an option. I mean, look, how do we know he doesn't already have a bag of staked ETH somewhere? That could very easily be an option. 100x RH memes. Are all the RH memes pumping? RH memes had a lot of yeah, these meme coins had a lot of activity lately, guys. I guess they added Peacock up here. I'm not sure why they put that. They just put that up there because it's so well known, I guess. What is this FOMO button? You're gonna degen, guys. RHmemes.com has a whole bunch of degenerate coins for you. Coffee, do I believe in alt season, maybe 100 to 200x in 4 to 6 months from now for HEX ecosystem cores? I do believe it's possible at some point in the future. Hey, thank you for the tip, sir. Thank you for the 20. Paladin YYZ, thank you so much. He asks, when you send USDC back to Coinbase and immediately convert it to USD, can they still hold on to it and keep it hostage? Well, when you sell it back to Coinbase, or when you send it back to Coinbase, typically they're not going to do anything bad. But if your goal is to ultimately get into your bank account, I would, unless you want to earn the 4% APY, look, if you're holding USDC on Coinbase, you're probably safe. They own a large part of Circle. USDC is like their coin. So it's not the worst thing to hold USDC on Coinbase. It's kind of becoming a new bank, essentially. I think they're even filing for their banking licenses and stuff. But if you really want it in your bank account, you do that on Coinbase. You transfer the USDC back into USD at whatever bank you have. Whether you hooked up Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, whatever, Discover, you just convert it from USDC to bank money, bank dollars. It really depends. I don't really think there's that much of a risk of holding USDC on Coinbase. No more than there's a risk at holding dollars in your bank. I mean, no one talks about the risk of holding dollars in your bank, right? Signature Bank went down. Silicon Valley Bank went down. Most people were FDIC insured, which is great. But people lost money when those banks completely went down. So the banking system itself is not as safe as some people might think or want to believe. Especially, look, I don't want to fearmonger. You hold some money in your bank, some money in crypto, a good mix of both. I think you'll be okay. I must toggle RH memes. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with rhmemes.com, but look. $2 million liquidity. I don't know. Giga just tweeted the largest bull run ever is coming. Is good old Giga on the Twitters tweeting about a bull market. I can feel it, guys. I do feel something happening. Mr. Crypto J says yes, unless you have a third-party bank as a holding account. Interesting. PulseChain fucking good, says Kawasar. Indeed, sir. Breed of Crypto says Coinbase just likes to jerk around when they let you send your USDC out and the amount you're allowed to. Yeah, one day when you're lucky enough to have the problem of moving 6 and 7 figures around, I hear they limit people when they move large amounts. Right? Whenever you move like $1 million into a bank, usually a bank is like, okay, where did this come from? How did you make this money? Is this money laundering? So Coinbase might do that. I don't know. They can always just, what's happened to me before is they just put my withdrawal on hold, where it took me like 2 weeks to get my money out. So I found that very annoying because I wanted my money when I wanted it. I wanted it to go buy stuff in crypto. They said, no, we're going to hold this for 2 weeks. You got to verify your identity for a fifth fucking time. It's like that kind of stuff happens. Is there any news from Maria? How the hell should I know, man? Not a big fan of QAnon. I have Saitama news. All right, I haven't heard that word in a long time. What's going on in the news, huh? Anything good? Bitcoin and Ethereum shrug off central bank's interest rate cut. Good. Good. Fed says it will stop shrinking balance sheet on December 31st. You were right, Crypto J. Stop shrinking balance sheet means stop quantitative tightening. Fed lowers rates 25 BPS, basis points. What does this mean for the market? Dive into our weekly report. Visa adding support for stablecoins. Look, guys, it's happening. More institutional adoption happening in front of our faces. Bitwise, Solana ETF. AI is always right. Careful with that, guys. AI is sometimes wrong. AI will tell you what you want to hear a lot of the times. It factors in your own bias and your own history. Didn't say that to start shit. He seems to be losing his mind. What are we talking about? No, it's December 1st, not 31st. Oh yeah, even better. Hey, even better. The sooner we stop quantitative tightening, so okay. Quantitative tightening stops December 1st, not the 31st. Mr. Crypto J says, AI says I'm gorgeous. Well, clearly AI is correct about that, sir. Clearly you're a gorgeous individual. 1,600 viewers, thank you. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that little subscribe button. Whole lot of just meh. Whole lot of just average news. I'll take it. I'll take it. At least we're not panic selling, right? In the back of my mind, I was thinking, what if we get a black swan here? What if we get no rate cut? What if we get like a interest rate hike? I'm just so prepared for the worst at this point. Michael Lamont says, I'm so 5555, I'm round tripping 2 cycles. Hopefully not. I think it's crazy when people only stake 5555. I don't think there's very few people actually doing that. I know you're probably joking. You should make a staking ladder if you're going to stake HEX, okay? Staking ladder is when you do one stake for, let's say, 1 year, one for 18 months, one for 2 years. You stagger them so that you don't have to time the market, and you just get paid to hold what you were already holding. That's the thing about HEX staking. They have a HEX page over here. Let's see what the HEX stats are. HEX stats, everyone's forgotten about it. Down but not out. The sleeper cell of the cycle, HEX. The long-term hold with the crazy community. Cycle 2, the chart restarted on PulseChain. So you've got a fresh chart. A lot of people hate this one. A lot of people hate when you even bring it up. But I've got my bag. I've got more over the bear than when I started. Part of it's from yield, though. Part of it's simply from yield. Yeah, I bought a little more, but I also had a lot more yield. So 390, 1,000 current active stakes. T-shares keep ticking up every day. It gets more and more expensive to buy a T-share in HEX terms. And I think the average inflation rate for a year is like 2%, which means it's about 1/8 or 1/5 of what it used to be. It used to be 8 HEX per T-share per day. Now it's 1.5. So yeah, about one quarter. Maybe 1/7. There's no good math on that. How do you prepare for what's coming? What a generic question. How do you prepare for what's coming? Focus on what's in your control. Realize that worrying about things outside of your control is pointless. Don't be crippled by fear and anxiety. Create more than you consume. Be careful following other people's narratives and realize that everyone's got an angle. A lot of what you see on social media, their angle is to monetize your fear, hate, and anger. And specifically is designed to get you in a tribe, to pick red team or blue team, and have people fighting with each other so that they ignore the real issue, which is the elites, the crumbling establishment that crypto was invented to circumvent. The whole reason of crypto is to get around, build a new banking system. Because the cause of a lot of issues in the world is the money. That's why I think it's so important to pick this as a cause. If you don't want crypto as your cause, that's fine. But how do you prepare for what's coming? If you're just kind of floating around out there with no goals, no desires, you're not really, you're probably just going to be sucked into other people's conspiracies, doom and gloom. Everyone's telling a story, so just be careful which ones you fall for. Do I think coins are going to pump over Christmas? I sure fucking hope so, David. RH LARP account says he's coming back when he clears 5K. Also, that PDI has to go to 0. Oh my god, guys. Good lord. A lot of LARPers out there. Definitely be careful on that. Pinch me at $1 HEX. I will, Mr. Crypto J. I will personally make sure to pinch you. Rocket Mob said the great rebuild. Acid Thunder says just restake to keep up my T-shares. Yeah, I mean, I've been actually not restaking as much lately because of the low interest rates. I want to keep a liquid bag for the near term. So I want to make sure, I already know how to hold. I know how to prevent myself from holding. I've trained myself. So do I really need to stake for 6 months or less? So I do hold a liquid bag of HEX. That's pretty common too. A lot of people go 80-20, maybe 20% liquid, 80% staked. Sometimes people go 50-50. Oh shit. Drop my mouse. 1 second, guys. There we are. Be a good human, yeah. David Lightman says, thoughts on extended cycle 2027. Anything can happen. What if we have 4 more years of bull? What if crypto becomes a macro asset and we enter the golden age everyone was talking about after all the tariff fears? Trump hasn't even been president for a full year. It'll be 1 year next month. So think about that. In the long run, all these tariff things, all this geopolitics stuff, what if it's just a setup for a brighter future? Who knows? Why don't we see more positive conspiracy theories? What if things are going to be so much better in the future that you're not ready to handle how good they're going to be? So yeah, extended cycle could be great. I've kind of got my eyes on 26, but I'm holding the bag either way. The world carries on as normal, indeed. Told Bitcoin would be 500K by now. Hey, here's something interesting. The world's smartest man, the guy with the highest IQ. I'm going to pull this news article up. Now, he made a Bitcoin prediction. The world's smartest man bets everything on Bitcoin reaching 10 million within 10 years. So that's 100x in Bitcoin in 10 years. Says Young Hoon Kim with an IQ of 276 Says he has converted all assets into Bitcoin. Now, is he going to be right? Just because you have the world's highest IQ doesn't mean you can predict the future. But hey, if you're going to trust anybody, if you're going to do an appeal to authority here, why don't we appeal to authority for the world's smartest man? Meme coins on PulseChain will do well. Peacock is $1 billion token, but what do I know? I'm just a Pulse guy, LOL. Let's see here. Peacock, huh? Peacock's a great looking chart, and I'm going to pull it up for you. Little dip today. But wow, look at that blow off top. Now we're going to come back, probably retest the previous highs. And you know what looks better is when you chart this against PLS. That is looking pretty nice. Charting against PLS, we've already retapped previous resistance. Now that became support. That's what support and resistance are. Very simple terms. See this line, how it used to be a resistance. Then typically when charts break through, they go for a retest of the previous resistance, and the previous resistance becomes a new support line. Support holds the price up, resistance holds the price down. So, we're in uncharted territory. It's looking pretty bullish for Peacock. People like to talk about market cap, even though it's just a proxy for talking about price. And the market cap is 14 million. Now, can't you just burn coins to make the market cap lower? Yes, obviously. But the liquidity is what matters even more. Only 150K of liquidity. And just knowing that these guys pull in millions in fees over the course of a year, well, if that goes to pump Peacock at strategic times, the math checks out. You could easily have another 100x from here. So sick of hearing noob scammers like James Wynn who dominate a defeated space. We need RH back. It is really ridiculous that you've got people looking up to these heroes, and what do? These main characters of crypto are just leveraged traders that lose multiple millions. Why is that something worth looking up to? They don't actually know any more about trading or where the market's going in the short term than anyone else. They just have more money so they can lose more money. So people can say, ooh, wow, he lost $100 million. So brave. I don't get it. A leveraged trader is not the hero to look up to in crypto. Korean? It's Jen Human says Korean. Oh, is the smartest guy in the world. Well, Young Hoon is kind of a Korean name, isn't it? Kim is a very Korean name. I want to know more about this guy. Look at his Twitter title is Young Hoon Kim, IQ 276. Cool. It's like his title. He identifies himself as a grandmaster of memory and the holder of the highest IQ. That's impressive, okay? I'm just going to say it. He says Bitcoin is the only hope for the future economy. I choose to believe he means cryptocurrency. Because if Bitcoin goes up, imagine what everything else does. That's less liquid. The whole world's clearly moving on chain. Everyone wants a digital representation of everything, a token. And if we're going to tokenize everything, it's just a better system. It trades 24/7. It's immutable. You can't edit the history. You can maybe trade some crap with an off switch, but it's all on a blockchain. Nothing can be reversed. Nothing can be censored. As long as, again, you're using actual decentralized tech. The Bitcoin price chart. Kim claims an IQ score of 276. The number far exceeds the limits of psychometric testing scales. Most lose reliability past the 200 range. Independent verification is not available. Organizations like the Giga Society and the United Sigma Intelligence Association have supported his record. Kim helped found the United Sigma Intelligence Association himself. Major psychologists and high IQ communities have dismissed the figure as implausible. Vice and other media have reported difficulty finding credible evidence of Kim's results. Well, he's probably still pretty smart, huh? I'll be staking some Peacock Friday night. I'm pretty sure that's what the Peacock protocol is. Decision was a 0.25% cut. Yep, we know. We covered that already. Guys, we've been going for an hour. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate all of you. Stay optimistic out there. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Price down sucks, but at least we've got some optimism and something to look forward to. Most people don't have that. Most people live miserable lives. At least we have something that can go up 100x or more and change our lives. And all it takes is more marketing, quantitative easing, big rotations. It's all going according to plan. So as long as we stay persistent out there, boys and girls, everything's going to be all right. Powell said the rate cut December, not guarantee, and everything nuked. Oh, is that why it nuked? Because he said it wasn't a guaranteed rate cut? The market is irrational. In the short term, it's very irrational, yes. Guys, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and if you want to talk one-on-one, make sure you subscribe to me over on Twitter. You get a link to my chat. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. No financial advice, of course. Peace out, guys. Thanks for coming. See you on the next one.